Hi there folks, welcome to RRTV's live coverage of the ANZCAR Thursday Night Thunder. It's round 12, the final round at Homestead, Miami Speedway. I'd like to introduce you to your commentary team tonight, Ryan Shelton and Danny Trim.
G'day there folks, how are you all this evening? How are you, Ryan?
Doing fantastic today. It's a lovely 5 o'clock in the morning for me, so good time to have a race.
Okay, and we've actually got someone special in the booth with us tonight. We've got Jake Blackall, who will be doing live crosses throughout the race. Say good day, Jake.
Hey guys, thank you for having me in the booth. It's going to be an interesting one. It's going to be a different aspect as well to bring on the broadcast, to actually be running in the race and maybe give a little bit of update on what's going on, especially with the truck, as we're in practice at the moment getting ready for Q.
That's great, mate. Now, just quickly, how is the track feeling so far in practice?
Actually, it's quite nice. The track's not as cool as I would have liked, but it actually is opening up the track a little bit for multiple grooves. So you may be seeing a couple of people as the tyres wear off, jumping in the middle and the high groove. So it's actually going to make the racing really interesting.
And have you done any race length runs with the tyres yet? How are they holding up? How many laps are you expecting to get out of them, mate?
Should be able to get half distance. So we're looking at, I think it's a 67 lap race. Should be able to get about halfway, 30, 35 laps. Come in, put some tyres on. That will be the window I'll be looking for. Maybe able to stretch it a little bit more, but I think the fuel will be a limiting factor around about 38 laps a tank.
And are you expecting many cautions tonight, mate? How's the field been there in practice so far?
It's actually been quite tame in practice at the moment. Hopefully it'll be the way in the race. It's definitely no fast repairs, so hopefully that'll bring down the cautions a little bit, maybe one or two at the start. People trying to get used to it, and those with damage obviously not able to continue may let it have a nice long green flag run for the rest of the race.
Now, you mentioned something that they're doing a little bit differently this round, and that is the no fast repairs. So it'll be interesting to see how drivers react with that.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's going to be the big thing as qualifying started. So I'll be jumping in the car now, doing a Q lap. But that's definitely going to be something that drivers going to be jumping around and figuring out what they're going to do, because it's a big talking point. No fast repair. If someone gets involved in an incident, that's day done.
All right, well, we'll let you go, mate, and concentrate on that quali run, which is all important for you. Ryan, what have you managed to drag up on the track stats for tonight?
Yep, it's a 1.5 mile oval. While it's the same standard length as a quote-unquote cookie-cutter track, it's actually a legitimate oval, whereas the other ones are more of a D shape. It started out as a square, flat track, very similar to Indianapolis, but much, much smaller, has now evolved into the final track for the NASCAR series and the final track for our series. Multiple grooves. It does have progressive banking. You'll see that come into play, especially as the tires wear off. The lower groove, you won't see too many people running on that white line. You'll see most people running in that middle groove. And if you want to make a pass on older tires, you're going to run up the high groove. So it's going to be interesting to see how these guys attack this track and how they utilize the entire track to advance their position.
Right, now this track, in the past, throughout the varying layouts of the track, because it does have a road course, there's been some unfortunate mishaps with a couple of drivers passing. We certainly hope we don't see that tonight. Your views?
I don't think we're gonna have any issues with people dying for a wreck in iRacing.
So nobody's going to get tossed across the room with their OSW?
I don't think so. No, I think the pure routing was done last week by you, or a couple of weeks ago by you.
Hey, I achieved greatness with my helicopter status there.
So let's check the results currently. Matthew Clote is actually in first position with his qualifying lap of a 31.0. That would be a tenth of a second gain over his practice run. And our top practice lap of Jason Martin, he is yet to run out on track just yet. And Matthew Clote has shut it down, and then it looks like everybody's just around that 31.0 for the top 5 guys.
Yeah, it's certainly close up the top there. The first three being all three in the 30. Actually, I can see top 4 places now are all in the 31s, with Bowitt on a 31.036, Ty Sloggett 31.074, Craig Lawless 31.090, then a dip to Mike Brown with a 31.104, and our championship leader, Jake Blackall, in 5th place with a 31.141.
Yeah, and you'll start to see. You'll see as they'll be able to run one really fast lap around here. Your second lap will always be slower. You're not going to gain unless you really messed up. You're not gaining on your second lap. Most guys are dropping about a tenth off their first to second lap, maybe even 2 tenths. So we'll see. Tire wear will definitely become a factor in this race. That's no question. But it'll be interesting to see how everybody attacks this track.
So now we've yet to qualify is the practice times leader, Jason Martin, car 21. Do you think he's holding back and seeing how the other times go first before he does his run?
No, he's actually just now hopped on track. The number 21 truck of Jason Martin is just now exiting the pit, so it looks like he's just trying to, I guess he was just trying to just get a lap in, or he's adjusting settings, or just waiting around. Some people do it. You'll see Jason Martin, he'll run that high line to get as much speed coming onto his front stretch to help out this lap time, and this is the only lap time he probably will run. You see him run just on that bottom seam where that progressive banking goes from the least amount to the middle amount. Not sure exactly the number. I think it's about 22 to 24 when you move up from the bottom to the middle. You'll see him again. He lets off, just rolls the center real well, gets back on the gas really quickly, runs it really high, tries to get as much speed as he can out of the corner, and he will get a 30.86. That is 2 seconds, or it's a tenth and a half faster than Matthew Cluett, and a tenth faster than his lap that he ran in practice.
I think he certainly looks hungry tonight, and with the time that he's just laid down, he's shown his dominance out there.
Yes, Jason Martin has really shown he's one of the faster guys in this series, and especially when it comes to mile and a halves, it seems like he's the runaway guy. Jake Blackall has had better luck, and when it came to the super speedway, he definitely had better luck. So we'll see if Jason Martin can end up winning this race, because it seems for him it's either feast or famine. So we'll see if he can do what he normally does and runs up front.
Qualifying isn't one of his strong points, but when it comes to race, I've noticed from watching him, he had no difficulty moving throughout the pack, whereas Jason likes to get up the front and stay there.
Yeah, Jake Blackall does tend to move up the pack a lot better, seems to be able to pass drivers a lot better, whereas Jason Martin is very much in that Wind Cup style driving, where he's fast enough to be out front, and if he's out front, you're not going to catch him. But if you put him in the back or middle of the pack, it's going to be very hard for him to move up through the pack. So we'll see if he can change that, or if he can just stay up front. You know, for him, that's what he wants. He just wants to win this race, and that's what he's going to have to do. If Jake Blackall finishes last and Jason Martin finishes first, Jake's going to have a points penalty for Jason to win this championship. So we'll see if see what can happen, and we'll be right here for you.
Now, I think those that are qualifying have pretty much almost done their qualifying laps. There's not very many guys to go there.
Whoa. Josh Micklemore did not realize that he hadn't ran yet. He just ran, and he ran 0.001 slower than Jason Martin.
Wow. Jason Martin's got to be looking at that and thinking, okay, it's got to be on.
Oh yeah, it is. It is. With both of them having pretty much the exact same lap time, it's going to be it's going to be a fight between these two. So hopefully we can have a green flag race, and it's gonna be a lot of fun if we can get down.
Okay, shall we start running through the starting order?
Yep. I think we still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cars who have yet to run, and let's see if any of them are on track.
Yeah, I have race control in my ear doing the pre-race chat, so I'm not sure if anyone else is actually going to do a qualifying lap. I think they're going to start from the rear of field if they start.
Yep. So we got 6 of them starting from the rear of the field. So we'll start from the very top where we have Jason Martin and Josh McLemore. This is going to be a fantastic fight all night, based off the qualifying time of an 8.61 to an 8.62, and their practice time, which is a 30.955 and a 31.000. So there's nothing between these guys when it comes to speed. Starting in the second row, we'll have Riley Curtis and Matthew Clote. Third row, you have Kyle Sloggett and Craig Lawless starting out in the 6th place. 7th place belongs to James Zeet and Mike Brown, 2 guys who we haven't heard a whole lot from this season. I believe this may be their first or second race, so we'll see if we can get some new names up front. Starting in the 9th position is our in-race reporter with Jake Blackhall, and Phil Otto will round out the top 10. Starting in the 11th place in the 6th row, my bad, will be Edward Foster and Dave Douglas. 7th row will be Ray Yeager and Shannon Mason. 8th row will be Roger Clark and Terry Marwood. 17th place will belong to Stephen Williams. 18th will be Galvin Sadler. Then you'll have Thomas Hines and Wayne Taylor parked up behind them to round out your top 20. Followed by that, 21st is Darren J. O'Brien, and then Daniel Stevens will be 22nd. James Foster, 23rd. Brian James start beside him in 24th. 25th will be Matthew Raymond and James Roble. 27th will be Darren Lord and Darren McKenzie. The 15th row will belong to the guys who did not put down a lap, and they will start in the back. Norman Clark, Danny G, Stephen Catalano, Mirko, that's a name. Daytonic, Mirko D, Jamie McKnight, and Derek Nichols will round out this 34 truck field. So
Okay,
not as big as we're used to, but it is definitely a full field, and it's going to produce some really good racing today.
It is. Now I can see the car starting to grid up there now. So the guys will be adjusting their belts, making sure their fuel is set. Obviously they don't need to untick a fast repair tonight because they don't have that option.
Yep, so it should change up the driving dynamic with that fast repair call. So we'll see how that ends up changing the game a little bit. See if we can get some good racing in.
Yes. Now a few of the guys are just revving their cars up, making sure that the motor's all running fine, the oil's up to temp, the water's up to temp, and they're getting ready for the pace car to pull off. And here it goes.
Yep, so pace car is off, and we will have one lap, and they will roll around.
Okay, now I've noticed that Jason Martin has actually not gone directly onto the track. He's actually running with a couple of the other guys down the pit exit lane. I'm wondering whether he's trying to look after his tyres a little bit from point 1.
No, normally here, that's kind of the thing you do. For if you're on the inside, you move to the inside line, and then if you're on the outside, you go out onto the track. That way you don't cause any wrecks. So it's just easier to stay clean going to the start.
Yeah, I see they're all starting to file in line now behind the safety car, the pace car. I nearly Australianised it then with the safety car, but I caught myself.
Yep, we don't do safety cars here in America.
No, you run the pace car there for the pacing laps.
Yep, so here we go. Now we are green. Jason Martin got off to a pretty late start. It looked like everybody got off to a pretty late start, to be quite honest. So here we go. Down into turn 1. Everybody single file. We're double file, but we're kind of files in. Luckily with this track, you don't get lost out if you're in one spot or another.
No, they seem to have all got away cleanly there.
Yep, and yeah, we're just going to stay 2x2 from about 6 back. Starting with the 444 truck of Craig Wallace. It just seems like everybody behind him is 2x2. Actually, he'll be 2x2 now.
Yes, he's just been caught on the inside by car 19, which is James Zeitz.
Yep, he's a new guy to the series. I haven't heard much of him this year, so we'll see how him and the other new guy of Mike Brown, see how they line up against the pack here. But it currently is looking like a Talladega race. Everybody's kind of lined up in a line. There's a couple of double file, but as you can see right now, everybody's just kind of using the whole track. Everybody is all over the track, just trying to figure out ways to make passes cleanly.
That's it. They're going to be experimenting, seeing how the track is gripping up, and they're also going to be testing their competitors and seeing where they can push, where they've got to pull back in.
Yeah, and with the 67 laps we have here, if we run green, we will need a pit stop. But the tires are going to come in first as we see Jake Blackhall really dive up underneath James Zeitz there. To turn 1, he's trying to make every bit of this starting out, make sure he can get up to the front as soon as he can.
Well, I would be doing the same there, because if you look forward to car 21, Jason Martin, he's already started to walk away and get quite a bit of a lead happening.
Oh yeah, he's already up to a second lead. He already has over a second over his next competitor, which is Josh Micklemore. I thought with those times being a lot closer, we would have seen them be a lot closer. But I think Josh just did not get the start that he wanted. Now James Martin's teammate Kyle Sloggett in that number 12 truck is starting to be under attack from Craig Wallace, who he's under attack from Mike Brown. So it looks like Mike Brown might be able to pass Craig Wallace as you start to see where the tires will start to wear out. You'll start to see that right front tire wear out, and these guys are going to start moving up the track a lot more. And as they move up the track...
Oh, we've got an accident there. We have an accident.
Oh, huge wreck. Craig's Wallace.
He's managed to keep going, but he did get a bit of a tap in the right rear and met the fence with the right front. Okay, we're just going to go back to the replay and see if we can pick that up there, folks. Okay, here you go. There you go, folks. You can just see it. The 444 just got into it with the car 7. But there's no caution for that. Everyone thankfully managed to keep going. Let's hope that he didn't get too much damage and the car's not going to be very affected from that.
Yeah, so what it looked like was the 444 just thought he was clear and he wasn't. So that's gonna ruin his chances for the rest of the race, because that truck is going to be really down on power. Both trucks are going to be down. Yeah, so we'll see how they...
He started out in 6th place and he's dropped back to 13th now. But up the front we have Jason Martin, not affected at all by that, and he's just powering away with almost 1.5 second lead now.
Now also one thing to think about is Josh Micklemore may be saving tires. He maybe is trying to save his tire a little bit, because he just gained 0.2 of a second on that lap to move that lead back down to a 1.2. It was 1.4. So he might just be trying to save his tires a little bit if he knows it's going to be a long run. So if he's trying to do that, then that will allow him to catch him later on into the run.
It has. Now, I can see that Jake has, from his qualifying position in 9th, he's already moved up to 6th. Jake, how's the truck feeling out there, mate?
Truck's feeling pretty good. I just had to avoid that incident between Lawless and that coming down the backstretch. But besides that, truck's feeling pretty good. Trying to find different grooves right now, running a little bit high through 1 and 2. Didn't like that one at all. Not grippy out there at all. Edward's now going to be on the inside, side by side down the backstretch. I think I may even just roll out of this one into 3 and 4 and give Edward the spot. No point fighting him now, trying to save some tyres. Just trying to find something else out there on the racetrack. Feels like the lower line is definitely where the grip is at the moment.
Okay, thanks for that on-track report there, Jake. So, Ryan, how's the race playing out from your view at this stage?
It looks about how I expected this race to go. Everyone kind of spread out, find their own lane. I expect there to be an incident at some point, because right now, from about 10th on back, it is absolute chaos. There are trucks everywhere. You got one truck running low, one truck running high, another one running middle, and then about 3 running low. So these guys from about 10th on back are really, really racing each other about as hard as they can possibly do it. And that's one of the reasons why NASCAR chooses this track as their finale, because it always produces good racing. It's not your fault if the race, if you're too slow, because you just can go find another line. You can just run up a little bit higher, run a little bit lower than the person in front of you. It's not that hard to pass around this joint, and it's incredible to watch. It does produce some really close racing, really fun racing. As we see, Jake Blackhall is running side by side right now with James Zeit, and it looks like he's given him about as much room as he can. He'll probably just slip on behind him. Sure does.
Now, I think with that bit of an incident that we've happened before, it's actually separated the field. We have the back runners, and we have Jason Martin out there all on his own, back up to over 1.5 second lead, increasing that. Then right back to 5th place. Then there's a big gap back down to 6th.
Yeah, that's where that wreck was. Everyone had to avoid it. But like I said, from 6th on back, it looks like that group of 10, starting with the 10 truck from 10th place, they've actually caught Edward Foster in that 6th place, and now from 6th on back, it just looks like a Daytona race with everybody so close together.
It has. Now, I've just noticed as well, we've already got some guys a few laps down. We've got Danny G, he's in the pits with Stephen Catalano. He's already 4 laps down.
Yeah, we must have missed what happened between these guys.
Yeah, I think the lack of yellow there has let it slip by our view. But what that's going to come into play is how quick do you think Jason Martin's going to start catching these back markers?
It will definitely be soon, as the guys in the back are a little bit slower, because it looks like some of them are actually damaged of some sort.
So I'm wondering whether that previous accident caused some checkups back there, and as we know, the guy at the end of the line, he generally has less time to react than the other ones. Okay, we've noticed our director in our ear there has just told us that Gavin Sadler is going 3 wide in car 19. Have you got that there, Ryan?
Yeah, they were 3 wide, and they're still sort of 3 wide. They're actually 3 wide ahead of them too. It is very similar, like I said, to how Daytona and Talladega play out. It just seems to be that as soon as you get next to somebody, it's hard to kind of run away from them, but the guys in front of you aren't running away either, because you're running just as fast. It seems like there is a lot of damage on some of these cars. Clark Lawless, obviously we saw what happened to him, but the 91, his truck has got some heavy damage, and the 66 is in front of this little pack here. His front end is damaged also, so they may have had to check up for something, because there are a lot of trucks back here seem to be damaged, as we see the 62 try to go really high as he does now comes back down a little bit, and he's going to try to pass the 91 as they go 3 wide again. Ooh, they're really close. That was about to be a huge wreck. But they just saved it. The 62 did a smart thing, and he backed out.
I've noticed a bit of a shake-up in the field already. We've got car 420, Wayne Taylor. He practice position was car 20. His qualifying position was car 20. Already, he's moved up 7 spots to car 13.
Yep, he is now following the truck modified that's in front of him, Phil Otto. That Phil Otto truck, that is the first time I've ever seen the front of that truck, or front of these truck, ever have the front end completely missing. So that truck might be running a bit strange for him, but somehow he's still in 11th place, and Wayne Taylor is trying to catch him down as Jake Blackhall is just moving backwards. He's now in 13th position, and he just got rear-ended from Darren O'Brien. And yeah, it's pretty chaotic out there. Oh, Phil Otto's truck is now fixed, so his truck's now together for me.
Yeah, well, actually, as you were mentioning that, I was looking at it thinking, his front end's there for me, so it must just be with the distance that you are viewing it from, being in the States there.
Yep, as we see Thomas Haynes actually go down below Wayne Taylor, see if he can't complete this pass here. Thomas Haynes in that 52 Waxit truck, as it looks like Wayne Taylor will have that outside line. Now you'll see these guys, they'll come off turn 2, and it's or they'll come off the corners, and you'll have the truck in the middle. He will actually not have the same speed advantage that the guy in the higher line does, because that higher line does have a lot more banking. So if you get that high line, your straight line performance is unbelievable compared to somebody without that said high line.
Okay, now if we go back to our leader there, car 21, Jason Martin, he's checked out a huge lead, and he's started to come up on the lap traffic.
Yep. Yes, like I said, it wouldn't be too long because he's moving up on Norman Clark now, who's in the 30th position. That's our first car that's not a lap down who is still in it.
Now, if you were out there on track, would you be doing what Jason's doing? He's obviously pushing hard. He wants to get a big lead up. Is it worthwhile burning the tyres off doing that and risking the caution coming out and then having to forgo that lead? Or would you be holding back a little bit?
Well, the way this race is going, we might have green flag pit stops. So if that's the case, then I would be doing more. Actually, I'd be doing more like what Jason is doing for this first segment, because we will need a pit stop no matter what. So your first stint, I would go all out completely. The second stint, I may back up a little bit. If we go green the whole time, I would back up a little bit just so somebody can't just run up on me. Whereas if it's just been caution fest, I would just push it because I know eventually I'd get a caution. I can come back down. But once the caution comes out, everybody's going to be coming into the pits. We still see that huge pack formed up behind 6th place. It's starting to spread out just a little bit, but there's still 5 cars racing for 6th place, starting out with Edward Foster in that 53 car. Good showing today. He's managing his truck very well, and he seems to be racing up the field a little bit, and we'll just have to see if luck is on his side more than it normally is.
Okay, well, I think we'll give our director a bit of a break here, and we'll run through the lead in the field in their current standing positions. So if we start out in 1st place, as we said, we've got Jason Martin with over a 4-second lead now, down to 2nd place, Josh Micklemore. Do you want to take it from there, Ryan?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we have Riley Curtis in 3rd, as we have a slow truck. Is that Jason Martin? No, it's not Jason Martin. It must be his teammate, Kyle Sloggett. Yep, Kyle Sloggett was actually slow down the backstretch. The 12 truck, he was running and he just stopped. I mean, he must have some kind of issue. So he stopped from 4th place, and he got a tow in. So we'll have to figure out what happened there later on. But Riley Curtis is in your 3rd place at 4.5 seconds behind Jason Martin. Matthew Clote is kind of all out by himself in the 4th position. And then 5th position belongs to Edward Foster. 6th will be James Zeet. Dave Douglas will be in the 7th place. 8th place will be Shannon Martin. Terry Marwood is in 9th. Thomas Heen, starting out of the 19th position, has now moved himself all the way up to 10th position. So there is the top 10. If we want to go further back than that, we have Darren O'Martin, who has moved up from the 21st position all the way up to 11th. Wayne Taylor is in the 12th position. Daniel Stevens is in 13th. Matthew Raymond's in 14th. James Foster's in 15th. Mirko D, who moved from 32nd, is now in the 16th position. So he's actually moved up 16 spots up into the 16th position.
He certainly looks like he's going to be our mover and shaker for the night so far, doesn't he?
Absolutely. Mike Brown, after that bad incident, is now in the 17th position. James Robles in 18th. Jake Blackhall has been falling like a rock. He is in 19th position. He is 17 seconds behind James Martin, so he's about halfway around the track. So if any issues occur, he will get lapped for sure. 20th position is Craig Wallace. Again, him and Mike Brown got into it earlier. Brian James Jones is in the 21st. 22nd is Darren McKenzie. Darren Lord just passed him for that 22nd position, was 23rd. 24th belongs to Raymond Yeager. Stephen Williams, 25th. 26th, Roger Clark. 27th is Galvin Sadler. Norman Clark is in the 28th position. And we have a few, looks like DNS with Phil Otto. And it looks like we just now had our first pit stop between Josh Micklemore has come down to the pits.
Okay, yeah, and I can also see that Gavin Sadler has actually followed him in as well in the 91 car.
Yep.
So what do you think they've pitted so early for?
For tires. Try to see if they can get an undercut. Riley Curtis is now coming in also.
Ooh, he had a bit of a moment there as he came into pit lane. It looks like he's almost got a little bit sideways. He's jumped on the brakes last minute to make sure he can get that penalty.
Yep, and it looked like the Shannon Mason truck actually got into the wall on entry to the pit lane, so he's got a little bit of damage that he wouldn't want to before, but the pits are alive. We are just under halfway, and the pits are rocking right now. As I said before, Riley Curtis is now leaving the pits, and he came in second. We'll see how this helps him out. He was around 5 seconds behind our leader, Jason Martin. Now, Jason Martin is running about 32-second lap times as he comes into pit right now. We'll see where Josh Micklemore has fallen back to 27th position, but he will gain that back. We'll see if the undercut can help him out a little bit as we see Josh Micklemore will wrap himself around for the start-finish line. And he runs a 31.5, so he's going to be about 2 seconds. Should be actually about a second quicker than that of Jason Martin, who is just now in the pits. He's about to leave the pits. Oh no, actually he's got to get left side tires also. So this is going to be really close. As
they're taking all 4 tires there, I've noticed, Ryan.
Yeah, you want to take 4 tires. You don't want to take 2 tires.
Yeah.
So we see Jason Martin's just now leaving the pits, and where will he end up in relation to? Oh wow, he's actually gained a lot of time. Jason Martin has gained a mass load of time.
Okay, now his pit stop time. Did you get a time on that, Ryan?
Yep, so it looked like Josh Micklemore may have overshot his pit box, or he may have done something, because it is actually 0.8 seconds slower over the pit stop that of Jason Martin. But he is a lot further back than 0.8 seconds. So it looks like maybe his in-out time may have been a little bit slower also. As you can see, those new tires really working as Josh Micklemore just runs around Dave Douglas, who actually won a few of our races. But as you can see, those tires are just insane. Now, you'll start to see some of these guys are just going to stay out. They're just going to stay out for the rest of the time until they have to come in, until they run out of tires. That's when, or until they run out of fuel. Because what they're banking on a caution to come out with the huge difference in speed. You can see Josh Micklemore here again with the 93 truck. He should be able to pass him by the time we get around 1 and 2 here. And yeah, you'll start to see these guys. They'll try to stay out, try to make some track position up, because if a caution came back out, these guys would be back down to get more tires to go have another run at it.
Good. That rush of pit stops has actually shaken up the field quite a lot. We've now, our first place runner is Dave Douglas now, I've seen. He started out in 12th place. I don't think he's yet to pit.
No, he hasn't. No, Josh just unlapped himself from him. Yeah, the first guy is still Jason Martin, and you have Josh Micklemore in second.
Okay, so we've got Josh Micklemore and Riley Curtis. Josh is currently hunting Riley down, and that is for a position, I think, is it right?
Yeah. So, yeah, it looked like Josh Micklemore may have made some kind of mistake, because he went way back. Riley Curtis was in the second or third. He was only in like the third or fourth position, and for him to be behind Riley now is a bit different for Josh Micklemore this race.
Okay, now that we've had our first run of pit stops, I'm wondering whether it'd be a good time to go to our live track reporter there and see how the car's feeling. Mate, why did you pit then? Did you pit because you felt you needed to, or did you react to the field?
I reacted to the field. Then my car's got a lot of right side damage. Actually hit the fence, and it's bent the steering, so that's why I'm actually falling through the field. I'm trying just to salvage something out of this one, but the truck is not liking it at the moment.
Okay, I can see by your lap times, your last lap 42, was actually your fastest of the race with a 31.1.
Doesn't feel like it, to be fair. It's the truck's really far out. It's a lot of damage to the right side, and it's actually bent the steering, and it's struggling to turn left. So it's when you want to turn left, it's not really turning left now, having to put a lot more steering angle into it. But the racetrack's definitely starting to grip up and change the groove, so see how it all plays out later on.
Okay, so are you expecting a caution out there, Jake, or do you think we're going to run clean all the way through to the end?
I think the way it's going, it looks like we'll be running green all the way to the end. I need a caution, so I'm praying for one at the moment because I need to get this damage repaired, but I think it will be going green the whole way.
Okay, now the last thing you want on a left-hand turning track is a car that does not want to turn left.
Yeah, it's the last thing I wanted, and it's just one of those things. I think I just bent the right front toe just a little bit, coming off of turn 4 a couple of times, so I think it just hurt it too much.
Thanks for that, Jake. Now I can see that car 75, Darren McKenzie, current race leader, yet to pit, has just entered the pits, and that should put Jason back into first place. Oh, we have a yellow. Okay, well let's just try and see what happened there for you folks. We'll go through the field and see what the cause of that was. Okay, yeah, I can see there that Steve Catalano, he's actually got into the side of, what do we got here? We have Mike Brown, is that?
Yeah, Mike Brown just came up and basically took him out is what it looked like. Not sure exactly what went on there. It looked like he may have tried to go up and he thought he was clear and he wasn't. He just took him out. And that's going to take out both trucks because both trucks are heavily damaged, especially that Mike Brown truck. He's already been involved in one wreck, and he's going to be involved in the second one.
Okay, well,
so this is really going to shake everything up now.
It has, and look, that's the yellow that you happen to be mentioning. We happen to be listening to Jake actually praying for to get his damage fixed. So I'd say that he'll be one to shoot into the pits now and try and get that truck back to good condition so he can turn left, which is, as you know, what you need in a left-hand oval.
Yep. So we might have a few trucks stay out here, try to see if they can't get a better position. Edward Foster's namely one of them. Thomas Haynes is another one. They're going to stay out. So there will be a few people who stay out because there's only about 20 laps left of this thing. 22 laps. We'll run it with 18 to 17 laps will be remaining when we go green. And as we see, Darren Lord, he tried to make up a bunch of positions by only taking 2 tires. So he feels that his left side is actually still pretty good.
I noticed our race leader, Jason Martin, he managed to just get the lead position back. He's taken advantage of this yellow and he's pitted again not long after he pitted the first time. So what do you think he's done there? Has taken 2 tires, taken 4, chucked
No, he's taken 4.
Okay,
he's taken 4.
He's going to be good to go to the end from here, isn't he?
Yeah, everybody's good on fuel. It's a matter of tires. Now that the field is a bit more condensed what happens is that people will take that pit stop, take that chance to take the pit stop because they know that they're going to be right behind whoever isn't taking pits or whoever didn't take tires, and there are a ton of people. Now some of these people are trying to get their lap back. Darren Lord is going to be one of those guys who's trying to get his lap back. James Roble is trying to get a lap back. Craig Lawless needs 2 laps, so we'll see how this works out for everybody.
Now, what would you do if you were out there on track? What I want to know is Thomas Hinds currently in first place. Then you've got Jason Martin currently in 11th place. What would you be doing if you were Jason? Would you just be going for it from point 1 and trying to get those positions back? And if you were Thomas Hinds, not pitting then, are you just going to try and dictate the race pace and try and save those tyres that you've got?
Well, your tires are already kind of wore out. You've got about 15 laps on them. If I knew Jason Martin had pitted, I would pit with him. I don't care what's going on, I would pit. I would have pitted here anyways, no matter what. Just because you still have 20 laps to go in this race. 21 laps currently. We'll run around, it'll be 20. So you still have 20 laps to go. So your tires, even Jason Martin's tires are going to be wore out by the end of this thing. Thomas Haynes is going to have to go all out the entire time because he knows Jason Martin's going to be doing the same exact thing, and it's not going to work out for it's not going to work out for Thomas Haynes. Jason Martin's truck is going to be about half a second faster, and he's only about a second behind him now. So Jason Martin can kind of run the entire track to make things work. Thomas Haynes has to make sure he doesn't pass on the high side because that's the only place. So we got a few guys who got the wave by. The 98, the 99, and the 20 of Steve Williams, Brian James Jones, and Norman Clark. So they will all be on the backside of the lead lap. Now they did get their lap back. So we will have 24 trucks on the lead lap starting out. So we'll be what we're gonna do is we're gonna stick around and watch this restart, see how Thomas Haynes approaches this. Like I said, the top 10 guys in front of James Martin did not pit. So it'll be interesting to see how they attack the rest of this track. And it is green flag. So be wary of Jason Martin, as it looks like one of those guys has missed a shift. Like might have been
was it?
is
Car
the
63?
66, Daniel Stevens. Daniel Stevens actually missed his shift on the start. So he's already in the cuffs of Jason Martin, who started in 11th place, and Daniel Stevens started in the 7th. So we'll see if these no tire play works out for Thomas Heens, because right now Jason Martin has nowhere to go.
Yeah,
He has absolutely nowhere to go.
Hinsey isn't the only one who didn't pit then. We've got actually the top three. Thomas Hinds, Wayne Taylor and Edward Foster. All three of those guys stayed out on track. And they're battling hard.
The whole top 10 stayed out. Jason Martin was the first one to pit and he's in 11th. So everybody in front of Jason Martin is on old tires. So we'll see if he can't move his way up through this field. He should be able to with relative ease. So we'll see him try to make this pass on the number 93 of Riley Curtis. Now Riley Curtis also, he did pit that last pit, so he's on the same pit strategy as Jason Martin. So it's not sure how he got ahead of him, but he did.
Now they're not afraid to go 3 wide out there now. I've noticed on this restart, there seems to be a lot more aggressive driving up the front of the pack there.
Yep. So there's a couple of guys that everybody behind the top. Ooh, there's a car in a wall. Car in a wall. Roger Clark, it looks like.
Okay, yeah.
I think so. Well, let me see here. The 20 truck of Norman Clark. No, is that it?
Yeah, Roger Clark's still running there, I see.
Yeah, he ran into the wall coming off turn 4. So he has dropped from 14th position all the way back to 22nd. So the right side of his truck is badly damaged, and he is going to have some issues for the rest of this race. But it is absolutely on fire right now for Jason Martin and gang. Jason Martin is now moved up to 6th position. He moved up 5 positions. Now you can see that he's beside him, he's all by himself. You know, he's nobody in front of him. He is absolutely making time right now. He's up in the 3rd position right now. 4th position. As you have Dave Taylor. No, he's actually 5th. So he's trying to just get high. He's trying to get on that high line to see if he can't pass, but see if he can't make the dive down here underneath Wayne Taylor for 3rd position.
Oh, I heard someone get a little bit loose then, but I think they managed to gather it up.
Oh yeah, they're 4 wide behind Jason Martin here. Looks like the 77, the 54, they're all racing for keeps back here. Yeah, that 54, Matthew Clute, is moving up the field too. It looks like he had tires. They're 3 wide. They're all over this track.
They are. They're not picking a line. They seem to be starting out on the line, seeing a bit of an opportunity, and they're just going for it. It's all out, and they're on there tonight, isn't it?
Absolutely, and they're 3 wide right now for Wayne Taylor.
Okay, I think we've had a bit of a touch-up there between Curtis and Marwood. I think they're continuing, but looks like they had a bit of a touch-up with each other there.
And Jason Martin has passed Thomas Heens. Thomas Heens is now in 3rd place. Jason Martin goes high on that number 53 truck of Edward Foster. Edward goes low. The only way this is going to work if his Edward can jump back in front of him. He will not, and Jason Martin will take the lead. We'll see if he can't complete that pass through 3 and 4. As you can see, those new tires just working out for Jason Martin right now as he goes high. And there it is. Jason Martin is leaving the pack now.
He has. Now, he seems to be the only one that's actually managed to get back up there. A lot of the guys who were up at the pointy end were the guys still that stayed out.
Matthew Clute has made up position as they are really 4 wide for the 6th position. And they're 4 wide going into turn 3. This isn't going to work for Josh Miclemore, who's low. Oh! As you can see, Dave Douglas emerged as the winner out of that one. He has moved up into seems to be the 5th position. And Josh Miclemore is just stuck on that bottom line. They are going bananas right now. There's only 10 laps left in this race. Josh Miclemore is trying to make that low line work. He's got those new tires over the guys in front of. Oh, huge wreck! Wayne Taylor.
Wayne Taylor, and it's brought out the caution. Oh, and he's just been collected by another car there.
Yeah, the 62 of Mirko D, who was having a really good race.
Okay, let's go back and have a look at what happened there. I think he actually may have got bumped from the left and he's gone up high into Mirko. I think he may have been bumped by Darren O'Brien. Yeah, he's not going to be a happy man there, is he?
The way it looks from my end is that he just closed out the 62. The 77 didn't really give him a whole lot of room, but he gave him enough room, and then it was just looked like it was sort of a racing incident. I think that was always going to happen in the first place.
Yeah, I think that's what's happened there. Actually, I think he's has had a bit of contact from the other car, and he's reacted to that contact and moved up, and just not had the room to get past.
Yeah, I mean, unless it's netcode on my end, it shows about half a car that he could have gone lower. So it just looks like a racing incident. Looks like Wayne Taylor is just trying to. He got spooked by the 77 coming up and didn't realize that the 62 was still there. So I think that's just kind of a racing deal. And then as they keep sliding down the road, it looked like the 444 absolutely clobbered them, and that's going to ruin both of their races now.
Yeah, I think that 420 is actually going to have to retire. With no fast repair tonight, so close to the end of the race, I think that's race done for him.
Yeah, so we'll re-rack it. It looks like everybody stays out, as there is only there's only 7 laps remaining now. 8 laps, my bad. We're gonna get the green flag with about 5 or 4 laps left in this race. And if you thought what you just saw was crazy, it's going to be these guys are about to turn up to 11. What you just saw there was about a 5.
I just don't know where I'm going to have to look now. I think I'm agreeing with you. I think it's just going to be on for young and old, and let's hope these guys give each other a bit of consideration still. We don't want to see people have wrecked out before the race, do we?
No, you don't want to see that as we see Craig Lawless run into the pits.
Yeah, I think he collected the 420 car after they had the accident and they started sliding along. He's collected Wayne Taylor at the back of his car and smacked up the front of his.
Yeah, he also had that incident earlier, so he's just trying to get his truck all in one piece. So hopefully make a few more positions, or just try not to blow up with this 5-lap sprint. We're about half. See, now Jason Martin, it's all in his hands. As long as he doesn't hit anything, he should have this race win. He's got better tires than everybody behind him. He's got the fastest truck. So if Jason loses it, it's his fault.
Okay.
Nobody's going to take it away from him.
I think we might cross to Jake for the last time tonight while we're under caution. Jake, what's it like out there, mate? Is it eyes all around your head needed?
Yeah, pretty much eyes all around the head and the car and everywhere else. It's pretty chaotic on that restart. I tried to go high and I didn't realise that a lot of them hadn't pitted. So a couple of the guys that are actually on older tyres sort of helped me out and checked me up a little bit. So that's the awareness I didn't have that I needed. Just couldn't figure out who was on older tyres. But it was going nuts there. I just sort of backed out a couple of positions that could have ended in a massive wreck. So I actually got squeezed again coming out of entering turn 3 on the backstretch as well. So I picked up damage again, which is not fun, but we'll see what we can do at the end.
So what do you think it's going to be like on the restart, mate? Are you just going to go balls to the wall and go for it? Or are you going to hold back a little bit?
We'll see what we do. I still want to do some victory burnouts, so I want to get this card to the end somehow. So we'll see how it goes. I'm not going to try anything different. I don't need to try anything stupid. So we'll see what we can do.
Okay, now I might take this moment while we're under caution to our viewers out there. Don't forget to give us a like and let us know that you appreciate what you're seeing there. A lot of work goes into these broadcasts, not just from the ANZCAR admin, but from RRTV themselves. With Bernie switching from comms to director mode tonight. So let us know that you appreciate that work that those guys are all doing for us with that like.
And the pace car dives off. Jason Martin just hits the gas as soon as he can. He wants this race over. And we see a huge jump from the 67, I believe that number is, on the Darren McKenzie truck. 75, my bad, 75. He got a huge run. He's going to try to make this outside line work. Right now they're about single file, but I do not think we're going to stay that for too long as we see Matthew Kloot try to go underneath that number 24 truck of Dave Douglas.
Oh yeah, they're just everywhere out there, aren't they? This car
right now they are.
The car in the wall, car 98's just scratched the wall. Managed to keep going though.
Yep, they're going to try to use every bit of this track, and right in front of them, they're about to go 3 wide. They did not, and that number 98's still in the wall. He's trying to use every bit of the track, but it looks like his truck has some damage, and he will be moving further back as the race goes on. Jason Martin has now opened up to a half a second lead. We're now down to the remaining 3 laps of this race, and they are really close to that wall for third place. Dave Douglas, Thomas Haynes are just running extremely close for that last, that third place. As you see, Josh Micklemore has moved his way up into 5th position. He's going to pass Thomas Haynes. He's got a huge head of speed, trying to take out Dave Douglas also. There's a truck that just came back out onto the track. James Zietz, he was on pit road, and he's going to block Dave Douglas from having a good run. That might actually give Josh Micklemore, as he actually gets into the wall. Josh Micklemore will pass Dave Douglas there, and everybody has to avoid Riley Curtis. And there's a caution. And this race will finish on a caution. James Martin will win this race. We'll see what happened. Not sure where it was. Jake Blackhall. He was 3 wide with one of the Clark, and Clark ran up, gave him no room, and that spun Jake Blackhall out. So yeah, it looked like Norman Clark. He just drove him up into Shannon Mason there and gave Jake Blackhall no room. And that's going to put Jake Blackhall way back, and that's not how he wanted to finish out the season, but what he did want to do is win this championship, and that is what he has done. He will finish in the 23rd position here at the race, but the finish standings will have him at the top of the charts. Jason Martin will win this race also. It was a fantastic race overall. We had a great first stint, had some fantastic racing, good pit stops. After the pit stops, that's when all hell broke loose, and we had some fantastic racing. James Martin finally crosses the line. He will finish in the 1st position. And that, my friends, will round out our championship. Jake Blackhall.
I feel a bit gutted for Jake there. Even though he's won the championship, nobody wants to finish like that, do they? Jake, you there, mate?
Yeah, I'm there. What do? You can't do anything about that. I just got squeezed blatantly. I don't know what. I don't think they realised we were 3 wide there. So, not the way I wanted to finish it. It was sort of disappointing that was the way I would go. But bad luck had to hit me somewhere, and it hit me then.
Okay, now, important, mate. Can you still do that burnout?
Oh, the car's still fine. I actually was trying to drift it through 3 and 4 to save it off the wall, so I did that. So the car's good.
Yeah, you look. I watched you there. It looked like you had quite a few handfuls of wheel, trying to do everything you could there.
Yeah, trying to do everything I could. I didn't want to get into anyone else's way, so it was just try and keep the car straight. And then once it was around, just hold the brake as per usual. But not the way I wanted to end it. And congrats to Jason on the win. Well deserved. He's always had the pace, so much deserved to him to get the win.
Yes, with Jake Martin out there is at the start-finish line, absolutely destroying what's left of the tyres. He's going for it. You going to join him there, mate?
Let's go and join him.
Yes, as you have a little bit of an incident there, but thanks for joining us, Jake Blackhall, as our inaugural ANZCAR Truck Series champion. I think the way this series has progressed, the way it's gone, I think there might be a chance for a couple of more championships.
We'll see how it goes, but thanks, guys. Much appreciated.
Well done, mate. So shall we run through our finishing positions there, Ryan?
Absolutely. As we know, Jason Martin has taken the win. That gamble by Edward Foster has really paid off. He will finish in second place after starting in 11th. He, as you know, he did not pit during that first caution period. Josh McLemore will finish up in the third position. Dave Douglas is in the fourth. And Matthew Clote will round up our top five in the fifth position. Thomas Haynes, sixth. Seventh will be Darren McKenzie in the seventh position. Riley Curtis finishes out eighth after having a promising race, having some great pit strategy. I just think there at the end he just wasn't able to make any passes. Terry Marwood finishes up in the ninth position. Daniel Stevens will finish up in the 10th position. Matthew Raymond will finish out in 11th. 12th belongs to Darren J. O'Brien. 14th is James Foster. Galvin Sadler will finish up 14th. Shannon Mason, like I said, the other one who got involved with Jake Blackhall, will finish up in the 15th and 16th of Norman Clark. And Roger Clark, I believe, is his son, father, brother. They are related of some sort.
Yes.
They will finish up in 17th.
Yes, Norman and Clark are father and son there, Ryan.
Right on. 18th will be Stephen James. 19th is Raymond Yeager. 20th, James Roby. Mirko D will finish out in the 21st position. Brian James Jones will finish out 22nd. Jake Blackhall will actually finish up last in the cars who finished in the lead lap in 23rd position. 24th is the first of our lappers as James Eats. Darren Lord did not have the greatest of races, and he'll finish up in 25th position. Greg Lawless, also getting into a couple of incidents, will finish up in 26th. David Catalano, who finished in 27th after getting involved with the incident late in the race. Phil Otto had internet issues, which took him out of 28th. Wayne Taylor also had that late race incident. He will finish 29th. Mike Brown, who had a few incidents in this race, finished up 30th. Kyle Slogat left early in the race for unknown reasons, finishing 31st. Danny G got into the wall early and finished 32nd. And Jamie McKnight nor Derek Nichols took the green flag. So we had 34 drivers enter the server, 32 into the race, and two winners tonight. One in Jason Martin and one in Jake Blackhall for the series championship. Now, I do think we'll have a bunch of these guys back for our next series that ANZCAR is racing. Throughout the next year, we will have full-length Monster Cup series races here on RRTV using ANZCAR. You will need an A license to race. I do believe Bernie might have a little bit more information as going towards that.
Yes, and just on our race there, I think the biggest mover for the night was car 75, Darren McKenzie. Started out in 28th position in quali and crossed the line in 7th position. That was a good job done by him.
Oh, yeah. That was a great job done by him. It's not easy to make up 18 positions when you qualify almost a second off the top time. So good job on Darren McKenzie. He had some great pit strategy, and I think staying out for him worked out.
It did. So who should we bring into the booth first, Ryan?
I do believe, let's see who we have here. We'll bring in Jason Martin. See how he talks about. What is going on, Jason Martin? You are a 4-time winner of this series, and you won tonight. How was it? You got us, Jason?
Yeah, that was probably the best race we've had all season.
Oh, yeah, because it looked like you dominated early in the race, and then that yellow flag, it came out and you pitted, and then you had to drive back through the field. Was it easy to run back through the field like that?
Yeah, during practice I'd been practicing running that higher line, so it worked pretty well against those guys on slightly older tyres.
So, Jason, where do you think you've finished up at the end of the season in the points there, mate? Do you think you managed to edge out Jake, or do you think you've come in just behind him?
I'm pretty sure it was over before this race started, so Jake got it.
So now, next season, are you going to be back with us? Are you going to be pushing for that podium top spot?
Yeah, definitely.
That's good, mate. It'll be good to see you back there. Now, as we do after every race, standards out there, what were they like?
Well, once again, I couldn't see too much, but from what I saw, and we got 40-odd green flag laps, so I think it was pretty damn good tonight.
Do you think that was due to the lack of fast repair?
Yeah, probably, and also because it was only about 30 cars, I think, so I think people showed a bit more patience.
Well done on your win tonight, mate, and well done on your finishing position in the season as well. I think you finished second, is it?
Yeah, he'll finish second in the point standings.
Well, congratulations
Thanks,
on that,
mate.
mate. Now, is there anyone you want to thank?
I just got to thank Michael Korolev for the wonderful paint job, Double RTV for the series, and ANZCAR, and everyone that took part in it.
No worries, mate. Thank you for that. We look forward to having you back next season.
Thanks, mate. Hopefully we get more races like tonight.
I'm sure we will. As always, once people learn how to drive next to their competitors and they become a bit more predictable, it generally cleans the racing up a bit, doesn't it?
Yep.
Okay, thanks very much for that, mate. Now, who shall we bring in next, Ryan?
I'm bringing Edward Foster here as Edward Foster. He finished up in the second position, and he really made some ground up there, especially towards the end with that great staying out. Were you scared that you were going to fall further back when you stayed out?
Yeah, thanks. A little bit. Yeah, definitely. It was more a case of I was really keen on leading a lap to get the bonus point that came with that. So I figured a lap here and there wouldn't make too much of a difference. So, yeah, just hung around until Jason went into the pits and then just came down the lap after.
So you did pit with everybody, is that correct?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, most of the field sort of came in, I reckon, about 3-4 laps before I did. And then I saw Jason go in, and then I came down to the pits a lap after him.
Oh, okay. I was asking about the yellow, when that first yellow flag came out.
Okay. Yep.
Then.
Yeah, there are a few guys that pitted then. I was actually a bit surprised to see that many go down the pit road. But, yeah, it wasn't even a question for me.
Yeah, because we saw a bunch of people go down, and then we saw a bunch of people stay out. I think we had 10 trucks who stayed out. So I didn't know if you were scared about Jason running back on you again, or the rest of the field running back on you.
Yeah, it was more a case of, Jason's got, I mean, when you're the fastest, every strategy works. So when I saw him go to the pits and go down to 11th place, I knew he was going to be with us in a couple of laps, and basically made the decision then and there to do what I could against him. But Jason Martin on fresh tyres is a very dangerous thing. So I saw him coming up behind us. I fought him off as best as I could, and when he did get by, just basically tried to hang with him, knowing that if I was able to stick with him, I'd probably drop the guys behind, and was actually just starting to edge back up to him a little bit when the caution came out. So I don't think it would have been enough to get past, but yeah, interesting nonetheless.
Okay, now, mate. That's fantastic, but you know me, racing standards, what were they like? Anyone out there was a danger?
Not that I saw. I didn't really get to see any of the wrecks, so I was fortunately away from most of it. I think the first wreck that didn't actually bring out the caution, I think Lawless and somebody else got together against the wall. That was the only one I really saw. So I didn't really see too much of it. Really, I think there are only 2 or 3 cautions in the race, so I don't think you can complain too much when we're having green flag pit stops.
Yeah,
that's good, mate.
It seemed like the racing was a little bit better this race, but overall for the entire season, I know you're one of the guys who started with us at the very beginning of the season. How would you wrap up this season? How did you enjoy it?
I loved it. Absolutely loved it. Of course, there were challenging moments, but they more came from the organisational side than the driving side. It's something that Roger and Daniel and myself do because we love it. There's certainly no other game in it for us than that. So really enjoyed the season. I'm glad it's been a success. I'm glad it's pulling big numbers. We've got some really exciting plans, sort of just putting the finishing touches on for next year when the new Thursday Thunder series starts up again, and very much looking forward to announcing that in the coming weeks.
Right on. So, yeah, that's what I was telling Jake Blackhall. I think he'll have a couple more chances at becoming a 2 or 3 time Thursday night series champion. So I was wanting to get confirmation before we go too farther on that.
Yeah, he'll definitely get his chance, but I think the competition's going to be even tougher for him next time round. So should be great to see those guys at the front. If we're able to pull the best stock car drivers across Australia, New Zealand into our series, then it's going to be something to behold.
Well, I think next year I might have to sit down in the seat and try to see if I can't upset everybody.
I think you've got an advantage coming from where you come from, mate. But yeah, you're welcome anytime.
Right on. Well, thanks for putting on the series, and thank you for allowing us to broadcast it here on RRTV. And it's been quite the fun. I know we have the full length the Monster Cup series coming up next year, also. So that's going to be a fun one to watch, also.
Yeah, absolutely. Very much looking forward to that. Once again, we're really in the process of putting the finishing touches on all the various regulations and formats and everything for that one. And also for our Thursday Thunder series next year is going to carry a bit of a different look as well. But once it's ready, we can't wait to announce it to everybody. It should be very good, and also thanks very much to RRTV for coming on board and bringing us to, I suppose, the wider community. And it'll be great to have you guys on board again next season.
Right on, and we will see you sooner than later. I think we'll be back with you as soon as we start up the 100% series.
Absolutely. Thanks very much, guys.
Now, is there anyone you want to quickly thank before you go, mate?
Apart from RRTV, I'd just like to thank absolutely everybody that took part in our series, supported the series, watched the series, anything like that, because obviously without competitors, we haven't got a series. So all the people who've got behind it, supported us, offered help, advice, just assistance and so on when they can. There's a lot of them, way too many to mention tonight. But yeah, they've been absolutely invaluable to us. Very much appreciate their support. And also, I suppose a personal highlight of the season for me was the Tristos 300 that we put on. The money that we were able to raise for Tristan in that was absolutely fantastic. Definitely stands out as a personal highlight to me. So thank you to everybody involved.
No worries, mate.
Right on.
Thank you very much for that.
So next on the interview stand, we have Josh Miclemore. My bad, I was getting a little ahead of us. Josh Miclemore here drove the number 2 truck up to 3rd position. after pitting late in the race with Jason Martin. Just wasn't able to get through the traffic. What was going? How was your race there, Josh McLemore?
Yeah, very good, very fun race tonight. Yeah, it was pretty hard getting through the field because everyone was sort of running their lines and that, but no, it's good fun.
Yeah, so it also looked like when you came into the pits, you lost a lot of time, especially to Riley Curtis, who you actually ended up being behind there for a little while. Did you have any issues on your pit stop?
No, I probably should have practiced a bit more going into pits. I think I've done it once.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't raced here for quite a long time, so yeah, I was a bit rusty. That probably cost me a few seconds, but that's racing.
Yeah, because we noticed that when the pits started to happen, you're only about 4 or 5 seconds behind Jason Martin. When you came out, you were all the way on the other side of the corner, which is worth about 7 to 8 seconds. So it looked like you lost about 2 or 3 seconds. I didn't know if you had an issue or not. So for that first stint, were you trying to save tires, or was just Jason Martin just pulling away that fast?
Yeah, I wasn't really pushing it at all. I was sort of trying to save. Yeah, it's not my best track, but yeah, I was just trying to do the best I could with the tyres I had and not push it too hard. But yeah, I practiced a lot with Jason a couple of days ago and stuff, and I knew he was going to be a lot quicker, so sort of just try to keep my own and see how I go.
Yeah, we noticed in the qualifying session you managed to lay down a lap that was just as fast as Jason Martin, but we thought it might have been a little bit closer. But I think Jason Martin just had a little bit more of the long run.
Yeah, he definitely had a long run speed more than me.
How you going there, mate?
Hey, mate, good yourself?
I'm good. I'm in the air conditioning in the cool tonight. I didn't have to sweat it out there on track like you boys did. Yeah. You know what's coming, don't you? Driver standards. What were they like? Is there anybody out there on that track that shouldn't have been?
Nah, not tonight. Everyone raced pretty cleanly, I thought, especially middle way of the race. We were 3 or 4 wide at some stages, and we all sort of gave each other enough room, and we had some close racing there, so it was good.
Oh, geez, you guys are just killing me tonight. There was no trouble. There's nobody I can flame.
Nah, not tonight.
Oh, well done tonight, mate. You had some excellent racing out there. Now, before we let you go, is there anyone you'd like to thank?
Just ANZCAR for putting on their league. Been fortunate enough to be a part of it for 5 weeks, I think, now. So it's been good fun. So I look forward to next year, and you guys for broadcasting as well.
No worries, yeah, man. We know that you joined a little late with us this year. If you do plan on coming back next year, I do believe you have a good shot at taking this championship. So we'll be looking forward to next year, and we'll see you then.
Yep, no worries. I'll be there. Cheers.
Now, I've just our director's just let me know, Bernie. Sorry, Bernie, our director, has just let me know, Ryan, that there was a bit of a mix-up in the points last round. And I've got a link now to the points, so I thought we might just run through the championship points before we speak to the next person.
Alrighty, yeah. So the way the points have lined up, it looks like Jake Blackhall has taken the total points win, and Jason Martin finished up in 2nd place. Dave Douglas finished up in 3rd in points. Thomas Haynes actually moved himself up into 4th position this event, which would take James Foster out of that 4th position. He only finished up there from about 5 points ahead there, and Jay O'Brien finished up in 6th. Darren McKenzie moved him up into 7th. Roger Clark moved down into 8th. From this race, Daniel Stevens would move up into 9th, and then Norman Clark will round out our top 10 as we speak with our 3rd place finisher in the championship and 4th place tonight, Dave Douglas. David, it looked like you had a great race out there. You didn't really start out too well. Didn't start out too hot. It looked like you started to fade back a little bit, and then the end of the race started to come around. How did you manage to move your way up much quicker than everybody else?
Yeah, definitely. At the start, I think I started at P12, and I made one spot up. And I was sort of just running a high line, just keeping that the guys behind me. And a couple of guys come up and try to pass me, and they're getting a bit risky right up behind my bumper. So I thought I'll let them by. And then they went and raced off, used up their tyres, whereas I sort of saved them. And then after about 10 laps, they all started coming back to me, so I started passing them again. And then, to be honest, probably about lap 25, I was thinking, I should dive in early here and try to do the undercut, get the fresh tyres. And then half the field started doing it. I thought, nah, I'll take it the other way. I'll try to do the Adam Stevens strategy from the weekend and just run long. And I did that. And then as I pitted, I come out of the pit, and the guys in front were crashing on the back straight. So I was a lap too short, but it was good because I was on fresh tyres anyway. So I restarted about fifth, and then had something to battle with towards the end until Jason came and run me over at the back.
Yeah, yeah. I noticed there was a bunch of people who stayed out, so I didn't know if you had waited to pit or if you had pitted and just kind of stayed out. But yeah, pitting right before the yellow comes out is probably your best bet, or maybe even wait until the yellow actually happens, but you don't really know when it's going to happen. But yeah, it seems like you were definitely up front for that last bit, but you're also up front for most of the series. So how have you enjoyed this series so far now that we're at the end of it?
Yeah, no, it's good to be at the front. That's where there's no trouble, I guess. But no, the series has been great. It's the first time I've been a part of the series, and yeah, hands down, probably the best series I've been a part of.
Right on. So it sounds like we're going to have you back next year and fighting for a championship, trying to take a Black Hole space away from him.
Yeah, definitely I'll be back, but I need to find something more for those boys up front.
I think you got it. You've got a win under your belt.
Yeah, I'm happy. I got a win. I would have been disappointed if I didn't get one, but I managed to jag one.
G'day, mate. How you going?
Daniel, mate, how are you?
I'm good. Usual from me. Driver standards. What are they like out there tonight? It was a pretty clean race overall.
Oh, I said in the practice that if we go green, it'll be more fun than running around behind a pace car. That's for sure. And that definitely happened. That was some great driving out there, especially on those couple of restarts and the 6 or 7 lap dash to the end. I know I took Jason Martin and one of the other guys were 3 wide, and then another couple of times we were 3 wide, and it stuck. So it was good fun, but it was hard to pass, getting blocked in on that outside. So you just had to try and drive to that right-hand rear corner, and then hopefully they leave you that space.
So do you think driver standards have improved throughout the season, or do you think that a lot of the track choices come into that?
My opinion is the driving standards did drop off in that mid-season, and then some of it is a bit of track as well, especially Phoenix is well known for that sort of eye pacing, if you want to call it. But they have obviously picked up tonight. We took the fastest repair away, and I think that made a difference. But yeah, they started off good. They sort of lulled in the middle, and then this week they've come back great.
So what are you expecting from next season? Are you expecting guys who were just pipped at the post to go out hammer and tongs straight away and things to be a little bit rough again? Or do you think that now everyone's got to race with each other for a season, that respect has been earned and will be given?
Next season, I really hope, obviously the guys have got a bit of a plan, but a lot more green flag running, which means a lot more strategy is involved. And that's the side of the motor racing that I love, trying to work out fuel, tyres, strategy, when to pit, when to stay out, try and make up ground. That's the part I love about it.
Great. Now, is there anyone you want to thank, mate?
Yeah, definitely. So I got Riley Curtis Designs for the paint. We got the award for best paint this season, so we'll have to get him on the job next season as well. CapSafe and Ash Media Speedway footage, and special mention to RRTV, Bernie and you guys for the broadcast, and a big shout out to ANZCAR for all the guys there putting on a good show.
That's great, mate.
Right on. So That was Dave Douglas. Finished 4th in the race, 3rd on the year, which is a great finish from him. We will now drop in our 5th place points, but also 6th place on the track. He actually was able to gain 1 points position. Thomas Heens, how's it going there, sir?
Hey, yeah, not too bad, I suppose. It's a bit of a bittersweet end to me because I think I should have had a top 5 out of that one, but ended up getting a bit balked at the last sort of little green flag run there. I've never really been too good with short sprints though. My style always suits the long runs, which is why I was loving it when we had that lovely green flag run at the start because I was just chipping away, working my way up the field. And I think I was up to 5th off the after the stops, so managed to time the pit stop right and just my style, I'm able to sort of chip away and keep the tyres alive. And I was noticing that with the green flag run, just slowly chipping off positions here and there. But yeah, I was actually obviously took the lead there in the second to last caution there when some of the guys behind pitted, or in front pitted for the fresh rubber, which was good to say I've led one of these for a bit now. Held on for longer than I thought. I thought the others would catch me a bit quicker, but I was talking to Matt Clote, a teammate, and he was saying that they took a bit of time for the tyres to get up to temps and really kick on. So that's probably why. But no, it was good to lead it for a bit. And then Jason came, and well, it's Jason. There's nothing I could have done. No matter what I did, he was going to get me. It's just Jason. Yeah, and then in the final, as I said, final dash, probably not quite what I was hoping for. A little bit disappointed with it. I think I kind of got a little bit screwed over when James came out of the pits there, lap car, and and it was a tough situation. It's always hard to know what to do in those scenarios, or where you're going to go, which way is the best way, especially when you got like 3 guys and 3 wide behind you. It's always hard to call. So nothing towards him, but I just in the end, just because of the scenario, it was all a bit dodgy. So I kind of all a bit a bit dicey for a while. So I just took it a bit easy, and that probably maybe cost me top 5 to let Matt get a run on me, my teammate, and he just pit me, as the caution was called. So if the caution had been called about 5 seconds earlier, I would have got 5th, but it was called just as he pit me. So yeah, no, it's still a good run. 6 is still good, and came up I think from 19th, I think about 13 spots or something. So that was good. And yeah, good to get a top 5 in the championship. I just looked at it then on the standings. I was just surprised to see myself there. I'm still pretty probably nowhere near as experienced as a lot of people in the field in oval. So yeah, to get a top 5, especially after missing the start of the season, I'm pretty chuffed with that. So no, overall a lot of positives to take from it. Just a bit disappointing at the end of the time. But, still a good result, and it got me that 5th in the championship. So a lot of positives to take from this season.
Yeah, I was actually looking at it. It looks like there was actually a correction. You actually finished up in 4th. For the championship. So you're only behind Dave Douglas, Jason Martin, and Jake Blackhall, who are the 3 who took wins this year. So other than Josh McLemore and Kyle Sloggett. So of the people who ran up front, you were right behind them. So and you missed 2 races. So I think next year you definitely have a chance at grabbing that championship if you decide to join back with us again.
Yeah, I know for sure. I mean, if obviously being time zone should be fine to make it unless anything comes up. But at this point, I'd be fine and definitely keen to, because it's good to have at least a series to keep me oval skills sort of up to whack, I suppose. Don't get too rusty. Yeah, no, that's good, and that's kind of comforting too, because it means that even if I'd got that 4th or 5th in that race, it wouldn't have affected me in the standings. So that's sort of comforting to know. But as I said, it was really good fun. I really liked. I think the credit to the admin's decision to take off the fast pair was a really good one. I think. I mean, as Ed was mentioning, we were talking about it in the green room before. I think the track kind of lent itself to maybe a bit of cleaner racing, just because of the way that Homestead works. That probably helped as well. I think having a no fast repair helped as well, because obviously you couldn't just wreck and then repair whatever damage you had instantaneously. It meant people had to be a little bit more cautious and be a bit more aware of what was going on. So no, it was a good call. I think it definitely made it an awesome race. Definitely my highlight of the season. So really good to finish it on a really positive note, because it was a lot of fun. Those green flag runs, really good battling, really close battling. It was awesome. That was really good fun.
Right on. So, do you have anybody you would want to thank this year?
Yeah, well, I guess as usual, Waxit have jumped on with us recently. Big thanks to them for their support for the team. It's really appreciated. Big thanks again to JP for putting together that Waxit skin for the truck. Looks really, really good. He did a nice top job with it. Looks fantastic. So big thanks to JP for putting together the skin for me for the truck. Otherwise, obviously, Race Centre, Carney, GTI, usual other sponsors we've had for quite a while. A good time now. They've continued support is always very much appreciated. And yeah, as always, big thanks to the team. They're always awesome bunch of lads and awesome fun to race with. And it's always good to, when we're racing, we're sitting in our Discord, just chatting away and keeping in touch and what's going on. So it definitely makes the races even more fun when you've got some guys there you can kind of chat away with as they're going along. So no, big thanks to them. Big thanks to Bernie as well, ROTV, for the broadcast. And I guess lastly, probably the biggest one, obviously, big thanks to the guys at ANZCAR. They made a awesome series. It was fantastic stuff. Overall, awesome season. And I'll definitely, assuming nothing comes up and clashes with it, I'd definitely be very keen to do more next season if I'm able to make it. So no, awesome stuff from the guys in ANZCAR. Big thumbs up. And yeah, I'm sure next season is going to be even bigger and even better for sure.
Hey Thomas, how you going?
Yeah, not too bad, Dane. Not too bad.
Okay, my favourite little pork chop. Standards.
Yes. Oh, now I heard you right this time. So yeah, they were really good. As I said, they were really good. It's amazing. I guess not knowing that, or knowing that you can't just have some knocks and then instantly fast repair it in a caution pit stop. Something. It's amazing what that can do for the racing. I think I definitely noticed it, especially off the start. And the first 10 laps of the race. Obviously, it's always when you can get those really big wrecks when everyone's first starting again the race, get used to the car and the grip levels and that kind of thing. But everyone was really good though. Really, no one was being too ridiculous. Everyone was just taking their time, getting in the groove, giving space, all that kind of thing. So it was really good to see. The stands were fantastic. So yeah, I think and ANZCAR, of course, learning from all this as they go. So I think they've learned a lot from this season. They're going to take this all on board for next season, which I think if this tonight's season go by going into next season, I think the standard's going to be awesome next season if we keep up what we had tonight. So I'm looking forward to the next one a lot in that regard.
Excellent. Now I've got 3 questions for you. Okay.
Ooh. Okay.
You've raced quite a few of these races in this season.
Mm-hmm.
First question: you only finished 45 points behind.
Mm.
Do you think maybe you held back too much? You should have sent it that little bit more.
I've actually been doing that a bit more in other series. Anyways, the V8s would have seen a few moves I've sort of done been a bit of that nature. Guess I'm getting more confident in the V8 and a couple other cars to do those moves. But maybe a bit more aggression would have been needed. I think the main thing, and it's kind of the same in road as well. Main thing for me is probably qualifying. I need to be better at getting at 1 lap pace. And second is just off those short runs in restarts, so those sort of 5 lap dashes at the end of races or that kind of thing, or even just in the middle of races when there's those short dashes of green. I think I need to be a bit more, but probably a bit aggressive to a degree, but also just in terms of racecraft, but also just with the car being a bit more willing to push into the corners and sacrifice some wear to hold track position in those early phases is probably the thing I need to kind of balance a bit more. I probably go a little bit too far on tyre saving, which is great for when it's really, when there's some real long green flag runs like we had tonight, but we have those short spurts, you kind of lose out initially from that. So yeah, probably just those short spurts and qualifying, probably the 2 I need to work on for next season, I think.
Okay, thanks, mate. Second question: who was the best driver? Now you only missed two rounds, so you should have a really good thought on this. Who was the best driver throughout the series?
Well, I mean,
and I'm not talking points, and I'm not talking finishes.
Yeah. No, I get you. Well, there's a heap of guys I could not really mention, to be honest. I think Dave was really good. I really liked him throughout the season. He was very impressive. Obviously, had the win at Charlotte. And just was generally very impressive over the season. He had some great racing with him. Very clean racer, but fights hard all the time as well. So I think pretty impressed with Dave. Blackhall for winning, of course, I know you said not points, but Blackhall, he won for a reason. He's a super consistent driver. Seemed to struggle a bit tonight, but otherwise he's been very consistent all season, so he'd be a big standout. But I just think, I don't know, Jason, you just can't go past. I don't know, just in qualifying, he's just deadly. The pace he pulls out in quality is ridiculous, and in the race, he's able to just pump out those laps, and consistently too. He's able to be lightning quick while also managing to keep the tyres alive as well. So I don't think you can go past Jason, to be honest. Edward Foster's another one I'd say is a very, very impressive driver this season. But yeah, Jason to me. Just got to be Jason.
All right, cool. Now, opposite end of the scale for the final question.
Oof.
Is there any one over a continual season you were weary of?
Oh dear, the one question I always hate. I don't think in my scenario where I was, I don't think there really was. There was no one that was particularly bad where I was on the field anyway. And that's bearing in mind for a few of the a good portion of the races, I'd be sort of clear of wherever the big wrecks would happen. So I wouldn't really get to see the details on those. So there might be some guys there who were a bit ones to watch throughout the season, but I just wasn't able to sort of see that for where I was on track. So there's none that really spring to mind, to be honest. I think yeah, I just wasn't in the place to see those big wrecks sort of be involved in them consistently, so I can't really, in my mind anyway, sort of call that one. I know I'm copying out, but I just don't like calling out,
I saved the hard question for you and you ducked it.
No, I see. Here we go. Here's a good banterous finish. The ones I really watched, Shannon Mason and Matt Clote, man, they were dodgy bastards all season, man. Watching them all season long, they were just dodgy. Every time, like Matt tonight was battling him. Ooh, I was watching him badly, man. He was dodgy, real dodgy.
Very well done. Okay, mate. We look forward to you coming back next season with the Just Send It logo on the back of the Pro Force Racing Wax It truck.
Oh, I think I'll get that arranged. I'll make sure that's done.
No worries, mate. Have a good one.
You too. Thank you very much, guys.
Alrighty. And our final interview of the night will come with Riley Curtis, teammate of Dave Douglas. He finished in 8th place during the race, and over the series actually finished in 17th for our points, but he did miss 2 of our rounds. Riley Curtis, how was the race today?
Tonight's race was fantastic, actually. Those green flag runs certainly make for a fun race as opposed to trying to let around behind the pace car.
Right on. And so it seems like you didn't really finish where you wanted to. Did you happen to take that second pit stop during the yellow and then try to get some new tires to move up through the field?
Yeah, I followed Jason in because I was second before that. I just got boxed in down on the inside line, and if you've got a slightly slower car in front, you can't really go anywhere without getting an outside run on them.
Yeah, we noticed that you had passed Josh Micklemore there at the green flag pit stops. I'm not sure. I didn't know what had happened because he had moved up, and it looked like you just kind of barely moved up a little bit. But yeah, overall, how was this season for you? I know you came in late, but how did it go for you?
Highs and lows. There was some races where I wasn't too happy afterwards, as I had a chat with Bernie with, and other races like tonight and Martinsville, I absolutely loved it. When you get up the front, it's a lot cleaner racing, a lot more trust.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it looks like you ended up with 2 top 10s, which is not that bad for a first season. Will you be joining us next season and try to move your way up, maybe get all 12 starts?
Yeah, we'll see what next season's bringing us, but I 100% would say that I'll be on the grid with Dave. I'll have to see what sort of paint jobs I can come up with for us next year.
G'day, mate. How you going?
I'm good. How's yourself?
I'm very good, thank you. How was driver standards out there tonight, mate?
In comparison to other weeks, they were amazing. I didn't have any run-ins with anyone. Actually, it was a really clean race. I think there wasn't a scratch on it tonight.
Okay, was that due to no fast repair, or was that down to track, or was that down to the fact that just as the series got along, people are just driving better?
I think a combination of both, because the first 2, if it was the third one, we wouldn't have ended up with last week. But the track itself, I find, is really great for clean racing because it's quite wide, different lines you can take. But the lack of fast repair, I think, stopped people from going for those big moves when they normally wouldn't.
Okay, now you said your car came home scratchless tonight.
Yeah, from what I remember, I don't think I scratched anything.
Okay, so overall tonight, everyone was a lot better behaved then.
Yeah, 100%. Like we raced really hard there for a while after that first caution, and I don't think anyone really touched up the front there. It was brilliant.
Do you reckon you could name best driver of the night in standards?
Oh, hands down, Jason Martin. He showed us all how it's done tonight. He pulled away from me and Josh in that first stint, and then did it again in the second stint, and he obviously worked his way to the front at the end there.
That's good, mate.
Right on.
Is there anyone you want to thank before you go tonight?
I'll thank myself for putting time in to do mine and Dave's paint jobs, which I think they came out well for the season, as well as CapSafe, Ash Media Speedway footage, and Speed Cafe.
Thanks a lot, mate. You have a good one. Well done.
Thank you, and massive thanks to RRTV for putting us on the interwebs for this season and getting us out to the world. It's been an awesome season of broadcasts.
No worries.
Well, thank you, Mr. Riley. And it looks like that's going to end it up for our season, as me, Bernie, and Danny will all say our goodbyes for the season. I thoroughly enjoyed the season. It was some great racing overall, especially this race. This was a really good one. So many other races probably could have been a little bit better, but I think we're going to get closer to having a very, very good series the more often this happens.
It is, mate. Now, I heard you mention before that you're thinking about throwing on the driver's suit for next series.
Well, yeah, it always depends on time zones and what have you. If time zones work out, then I'll have at it. If not, then I'll just drive every other series, or I might, or every other week, or I might be in a booth for every other week. So it all depends on how my lap or how work goes and how I feel. I might show up a few races and spoil the party.
That'd be good, mate. Well, I reckon me and you might have to collude. I'll race one round, you race the next round, and they add our points together.
Well, I think you might be a little bit of a paperweight for me.
not as much as your ping there, sir.
No, well, with high ping, that means I can wreck people and nobody. I just claim that code.
No worries, mate. Well, look, it's been great working with you tonight. I was wondering if our director wanted to jump out of the director's chair and back in the comms booth just to finish off with us tonight.
Yeah, fantastic effort, guys. It was a new experiment tonight, so I think it worked out all right, but fantastic season. And, yeah, looking forward to seeing what ANZCAR can bring next year.
Yep, and I believe that's going to end it up for the season. From over here in the States, I'm going to sign off.
Yeah, and thanks, Ryan, for jumping in for this season as well. It's if you don't know, folks, he's where are you from? North Carolina, so it's probably like 6, 7 a.m. over there for you at the moment.
Yeah, we're over here in South Carolina. Yeah, it's 6:45 in the morning for me, so as we're getting done, I woke up this morning about 3 o'clock, and just to make sure I was awake for the race.
Yeah, no, I appreciate the massive effort you put towards this series and sacrificing your sleep to join us here on RRTV. So thanks very much for doing that, and hopefully now you can go and get some rest and kick your heels up. I think it was Thanksgiving yesterday, wasn't it? And
well,
it's
Thanksgiving for your Thanksgiving, or Thanksgiving for your yesterday. It's our today.
Okay, well, happy Thanksgiving and enjoy that. And, yeah, and have a good Christmas, and hopefully we'll catch up again next year when you're out on track racing. We can see how much of a paperweight that Danny is.
Yeah, I had to teach Danny a few tricks so he wouldn't be such a paperweight.
Yes, no, I've credited you that before in a previous broadcast. That a couple of tips you've taught me on the oval that I put to use to this day.
Yeah. So.
And of course, Danny, tomorrow night you're joining me for the Australian Online Supercar Championship. We've got the Phillip Island 650, and that's going to definitely test out your tonsils.
Oh look, it's a great series. Nick Hausler, manager of Triple S Racing, the guy puts on a really good series, and it's an endurance race tomorrow night. So they always bring out the quick, fast guys, and really looking forward to it, mate.
Yeah, it's going to be absolutely awesome. And folks, you can check out when that broadcast starts by going over to our YouTube page. It's scheduled there. And I think it's a fairly early start for us. I think we go on air about 7:45 p.m. GMT plus 11. So, and then we'll probably be going to, I reckon, about midnight our time.
Yeah, it's going to be a late one.
Yeah, it'll be awesome. Also, big thanks to all the viewers out there that joined us for the ANZCAR Thursday Night Thunder this year. Hope you've enjoyed it. We've definitely enjoyed it, bringing it to you, and we're definitely looking forward to seeing what we can do with the series and the other things ANZCAR's doing in 2018. So if you've got any feedback on what we did for this series as far as broadcasting goes, definitely send me a PM. I want to get some feedback on how we can improve it, so we can do this series justice and make sure it's presented in the best way we possibly can. But until then, folks, thanks for joining us, and thanks to Danny and Ryan for commentating tonight. And whatever happens tomorrow, folks, wherever you are in the world, stay safe. If you're over in the US, have great happy Thanksgiving, and if you're elsewhere in the world, happy Friday or whatever time, place it is for you. But until then, folks, on behalf of Ryan Shelton and Danny Trim, I'm Bernie Weemers. Thanks for tuning into RRTV, and we will look forward to your company again soon.